The circumstances surrounding the death of 3 patients at the Linstead Hospital in St. Catherine have raised more questions about the oxygen shortage in the island. While confirming the deaths, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dunstan Bryan, says he can't make a connection between the two. Here's Kirk Wright with that story.
On Saturday, our cameras arrived just in time to see a funeral home collecting bodies from the Linstead Hospital in St. Catherine. Our sources tell us they included persons who reportedly died at the facility sometime between last night and this morning because it ran out of oxygen Friday. We tried to get a comment from relatives of one of the deceased, but they were too distraught to talk. When we contacted the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dunstan Bryan, he confirmed there was an issue with oxygen.
Whether or not they completely ran out or it ran low, that information is being provided as we speak.
Mr. Bryan says, however, he could not link the deaths at the hospital within the last 24 hours to the oxygen shortage.
I cannot confirm that there is a link between the death of a patient and the fact that there was no oxygen at the hospital. My information is 2 persons that demised, and we regret the passing of these individuals, but I would not be able to say whether or not their demise is a function of the absence of oxygen, because that's a clinical determination.
Chairman of the Health and Sanitation Committee of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, Sidney Rose, says he was told otherwise.
I was called this morning by a resident of this area in respect to a death, and when I made further inquiries, I was also told that 2 other persons has died as a result of no oxygen being at the Linstead Public Hospital.
Mr. Rose, who is also the councillor for the Treadways Division, wants the government to speed up the construction of the Treadways Health Centre. This, he argues, would help to curb the community spread of the coronavirus.
What has been happening to some extent is the spread where persons from Treadways will have to go to the Linstead Health Centre and vice versa at times. And that is what is contributing, I believe, to some of the spread as well. So I'm asking that the Treadways Health Centre, our construction of same, to begin in the shortest possible time.
Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
The country's COVID-19 death tally has increased to 524. This after 5 more deaths were recorded in the last 24 hours. The victims are from the corporate area and St. Elizabeth. Their ages range from 59 to 79 years. Additionally, 4 other deaths are under investigation. In the meantime, 695 coronavirus cases from 3,192 samples were reported. 8 were imported. This brings the country's overall case count to 34,665. Hospitalizations have jumped to 385, up from 371 on Thursday. 30 patients are critically ill, while 48 are moderately ill. There are currently 17,958 active COVID-19 cases in Jamaica.